First of all, I want to thank the grace of heaven, virtue of enlightening masters, confidence placed by awesome mercy of transmitter, and confidence placed by our senior lecturers for the opportunity to share this topic with you. Legacy to pass on, or leave behind. It's virtue versus wealth. In 2006, when Warren Buffett declared that he's going to donate a big portion of his wealth to the Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation. There was he drew a lot of compliments, of course, a lot of praises. And so it's the same when Mark Zuckerberg in 2015 December announced that he's going to donate 95% of his Facebook share to charity. Again, he won a lot of admiration from the world, and these are really very huge steps, right? In their very like a milestone in their own life. But when they did this, I really doubt they ever thought about leaving behind making a mark in the world. I guess the only thing in their mind is that they want to make this world a better place for the coming generations. And as we know, a lot of their donations are directed to courses such as promoting human well-being, promoting education, medical advancements, things that will help improve the well-being of human nature, of human beings. Yeah. So while we admire this, and none of us can. I mean, not all of us can take such joint steps as Buffett or Mark Zuckerberg, or on a spiritual level, people like Gandhi or Martin Luther King. They all leave a very positive mark in the world, and they are so well remembered long after they are gone, right? But what should we leave behind? This is something we all have to also think about. What are we going to be remembered by? Because having this in mind will give us a purpose in life. And this mission statement will be like a compass that's going to guide us through life, that's going to help us go through the life with a purpose and determination, especially when we are in a time of turmoil. Yeah, so this is my topic today. Now, first of all, the wealth. There are two types of wealth, material and immaterial. Material, it can be money, can be estate, cars, jewelry. There are so many things that you name it, right? The immaterial, it can be expertise, experience, or even a piece of artwork, a piece of musical composition that's going down in history. It also can be our outlook on life, our attitude towards people, and finally it can be the wisdom that we have really accumulated through our lifetimes. Okay, and so when we say virtue, it's actually like a very general summary or general. A generalization of all these things. It also can also be our benevolence, our goodness, our kindness towards fellow beings, and even towards other living beings. Okay. Now let's go to the next slide. Should I do it myself? Yeah. Sometimes when Chinese people or some other more traditional people heard of the donation by Warren Buffett and Mark Zuckerberg, Buffett. Okay, thank you. Buffett. Oh, thank you for the correction. They couldn't understand because in Chinese people's traditional ideology. They are making a good living, or they are creating wealth for their generation, their descendants or their offsprings. Okay, but is that really the sole purpose of creating a wealth for it? It's to pass the wealth from one generation to another. So we need to look at what's the what's the nature of the material wealth. Now, first of all, it's very volatile. As Buddha said, the wealth of the world is in the hands of flooding, fire, burglars, corrupt government or officials, and unworthy offsprings. The wealth will be soon gone if there's a flooding or a tsunami. We know there's so many big mansions and houses in the west coast that got damaged in the forest fires, right? Or if there's any flooding, just that lately we know that in China there's a very severe flooding that was brought forth by the typhoon, and so many beach houses were swept away. Okay, so they're not there forever. They're not permanent. Sometimes, they can be robbed by burglars, and they can also be taken away by corrupt government or officials. Or if we pass down a big pool of wealth to the next generation, they might not really make the best use of the wealth. On the contrary, they might just squander the wealth, and they might even become broke. There are so many stories about people who inherited a lot of wealth from their ancestors, but they end up being penniless and even committed something really bad. Okay. Now the second one is the wealth really is whether we are poor or rich. That's the karmic result of our past lives. Okay. If we were very giving in our past lives, then we kind of planted the seed of the field of fortune, and so we might reincarnate as a wealthy person in this lifetime. Okay. But again, if we squander the wealth that we accumulated from the past karma, then again we are going to face the fate of our poverty maybe in this lifetime or in our next lifetime. So Buddha also said that there's no need to fight for the wealth if we are destined to be poor. Likewise, if we already planted the field of fortune, then we don't really need to fight for wealth in this lifetime. Okay, so it's really the result of what we did in the past. Yeah, of course, we also have to do our part in this lifetime to make sure that we have, we can, live a very normal and financially secure life. Okay. Now, also with the material wealth, there's a latent danger to the offsprings, okay? Because when they are given a lot of properties, a lot of money, then they don't really have to work, or they don't have to fend their way. So we kind of deprive them the opportunity to be independent. And also, we might also weaken their ability to grow and to advance, okay? Peter Buffet, who is the son of the Buffett. I'm sorry, it's going to take time for me to pronounce it correctly. Okay, so Peter, the son of Warren, when he, in his 20s, he wanted to study his own musical career, and he had asked his father for a loan, but his father turned him down. He was pretty angry at that time, but we know Peter is an Emmy Award, is a musician who won the Emmy Award. And also, he, together with his wife, started a non-profit foundation, which is called Novo Foundation. that aims at promoting the welfare and also the advancement of the women and the girls. Yeah, right. So in retrospect, he felt he was very grateful to his father because his father taught him how to fend for himself. And so he said the support from his father did not come in the form of check. Rather, it comes in love, nurturing, and support, and also confidence in them that they can really create their own future and their own legacy without having to use the father's money. And again, if we give our descendants a lot of money, we might also lead them to peril. That's what we call the unworthy offsprings, because they don't make good use of this wealth. Okay, they squander them and they use them on something very improper, like gambling or even something even bad. Okay, worse. Okay, we also can endanger the offsprings with some retribution or karmic consequence. As you can see in a little font, it says the author of the poem in the golden vase. In Chinese, it's called Jin Ping Mei. Okay, this is like a spin-off from the novel of Walter Margin. And while this novel has a lot of sexuality content, it's almost like the Lolita, the Western the novel. Okay, and because of this content, the author's descendants for 3 generations couldn't speak, so they were like mute. Yeah, or is it numb? Dumb. Yeah, dumb. Yeah. Okay, so this is what we call the delayed consequence or delayed retribution. And everyone probably knows Bernie Madoff, right? The culprit of the Ponzi scheme, okay, that really destroyed thousands of people and their families. Okay, Mark and Andrew are his 2 sons. Mark is the elder. So on the 2nd anniversary, actually when it was Mark and Andrew who really turned in their father. And on the 2nd anniversary of their father's arrest, Mark hung himself in a Manhattan apartment because he was so stricken with the guilt and the sense of shame towards his father. And then 2 years later, in 4 years later, 2014, Andrew, the 2nd son, he died from cancer. Well, at first, actually before this Ponzi scheme, he was already diagnosed with a cancer, but it was kind of treated and was in remission. But then after this, this incident, it became active again, and so it climbed the life. So these are all very very convincing examples of how if we do something bad to accumulate wealth, it can be instant retribution for ourselves, and also can also bring shame, also karmic consequence to our offsprings. Okay, so what should be our right attitude towards the wealth? Yeah, first of all, we should be responsible financially. By that, I mean that we are all living in this world, and everything has to be bought. Everything has a price tag, right? What we eat, what we wear. So we have to support our family if we have one financially. At least we have to support ourselves financially. Okay, so we cannot say like we are in the dark cultivating, then I can just ignore all these mundane duties. Okay, so we have to do that. We have to work hard to support ourselves and also our family. But we also have to create our make a living responsibly. Okay, by that it means we should not make money illegally or unethically. Okay, like Ponzi scheme. It's both illegally and also unethically. And we also have to have proper career. Like we said, we should not be working in a gambling house. We shouldn't be involved in any like illegal trade of like gunfires or things that what is that? Arms. Yeah, arms. Right. Or prostitution and things like that in that nature. Yeah. So this is one of the eighth noble path. Okay, and also do not over pursue wealth. Although we need to support ourselves, we need to make enough money to support ourselves, but don't over pursue money or wealth. Okay, there's so many examples. China has been experiencing booming economy, and the environment is that everybody wants to dig their first pot of gold. Okay, and so this guy Wang Junyao, he's a billionaire. At age 38, he's worth $3.6 billion, and he's still expanding his enterprise. But then he was diagnosed with the colon cancer. Okay, and only 2 months after the diagnosis, he was gone. Yeah, so his $3.6 billion cannot buy him an inch of healthy intestine. Yeah, so these are really like wake up calls for a lot of people. Yeah, so they have been twittering around in the world in the Chinese media, and he's just one of the examples. There are so many examples of people like him. Yeah, so sometimes we say the silver spoon. If we don't take care of it correctly, it becomes a dagger, a silver dagger, right? Yeah. And then lastly, we should be willing to give away what we have. Okay. Now there's a story of the Emperor Liang Wu of Liang. In Chinese, it's the Liang Wu Di. Okay. He has a lot of stories, but I'm going to mention one of it. In his previous life, he was a woodcarver, and once he came across a rundown temple, a temple that was already abandoned. There was like no roof and there's no sheltering. But there's a Buddha statue there that was kind of weathered through wind, rain, sunshine. So he has such respect for Buddha or the divine being. He used his hat and also his clothes to cover this Buddha. And guess what? His kind act, or his very respectful act was seen by heaven. So the next life he reincarnated as an emperor. Yeah, so we are not really just looking for a return or reward for doing something good, but this is something we have to do. And for every action that's done, there's always a consequence, or there's always a result. And good deeds is always rewarded by good things. That's for sure. That's another topic, the causality. We will talk about that in another class. Okay. Okay, so these are some of the enlightened views expressed by people throughout history. Now, the first one is, if my descendants are actually, I'd like to have Vivian, can you read it? Loudly, please. Louder, please.
If my descendants are as good as me, why would they need money from me? If leaving behind wealth might ruin their life by sapping them of motivation.
I should omit the if, okay. Can you kind of talk about it, explain it for everyone?
This means, so if, basically he's saying if the descendants are as good as him, then they, they should have the virtue to be able to work themselves and provide their own money and to be able to like their fortune should come to them.
Yeah,
If they can.
they have that virtue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other way is if we give them a lot of money, but they don't have the good virtue. Yeah, they'll be wasted, and they also don't have the motivation. They don't have the urge, or they don't have the like the need to work hard for themselves, and that this might really weaken their ability, right? Okay, this is by a Chinese his officer who is in charge. He was also not in charge of the Opium War. Remember Lin Zexu? In 1840, the official that was designated by the imperial court to kind of supervise the war in the South. And then the second one is by Buffett. He said, I want to give my kids just enough so that they would feel they could do something, but not so much that they would feel like doing nothing. Okay, as I shared with you earlier, he did not want to even give Peter some money to help him with the head start of his career, and he gives all his children $90,000, to give them something. Okay, but then later on, if he has to give his children money, the money should be used on charity, helping people. Okay, now this is something by also some historical figure. He said, only when we take material wealth lightly can we start nurturing kindness. If we are still very obsessed with material things, then we would not be involved or participating in doing something good for others. We'll be so obsessed, so attached to the wealth, and then the greed will take the upper hand, right? And so it's very unlikely that we will help people. We are going to give away our wealth. Okay, and this is also often shared by Buddhas and saints when they came to the Dharma class. Okay, so we really need to have a very positive, a very we say healthy attitude towards money, material wealth. And then this is verse by the Sima Guang. He's also a very famous historian from Song Dynasty. He's the person who wrote the Chronicle of Government, the 资治通鉴. Okay, he said, when we pass on wealth to descendants, they might not hold it for long. Okay, when we leave behind good books, they may not read them. The surest thing to help them eternally is to accumulate virtue on our part. There's also so many stories and examples that if we do good, if we build our virtue, nurture our virtue, then we are going to help our descendants, our children and our grandchildren also indirectly. Just imagine this: if we are helping the society by donating or whatever kind of voluntary services we provide, we are going to have respect, right, from people. And when we are in difficulty, or when our children are in difficulty, will they also help us? Yeah, this things comes around. Yeah, so this, and that's why the transmitter always say that we have to accumulate virtue, and sometimes this virtue should be anonymous, because when the virtue or merit is anonymous, it will give much triple rewards. Okay, now finally there's something from I think it's a book called Within My Power. It says, let me see, Cindy.
100 years from now, it will not matter what kind of car I drove, what kind of house I lived in, how much money was in my bank account, nor what my clothes looked like. The world may be a better place because I was in the life of a child.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what do you think, Cindy.
I think that like all the things he listed about it does not matter. It's all like really materialistic things, like just physical appearance wise. But then his last two statements is like about like his inner self and what he really needs. And that's what's impacting the world, not like anything like his car or his house.
Thank you so much. So all the external things such as wealth, power, title, social status, or physical appearances, these are really irrelevant. We just need enough money to get by, to support us. We just need to meet our minimum needs. And then the rest of it is how we can create our legacy, how we can really make a difference to the world, to our community, to people that we come across. Okay, so they say I came across a WeChat message. They say, someday if we kind of strip away all these titles, social status, our clothes, even our clothes. Okay, so whatever left behind, is it still worthy? Is still so still so glorious, so shiny? Okay, that's more important. Okay, but we are usually conditioned, sometimes we are already conditioned to judge people by all these externals. And this is time we need to start to take a different, perspective and to know, without all this, are we still worthy? Are we still, the best? Can we, without all this, can we still make an imprint on this world? Okay, so kind of this is like from one generation to another generation. So what should we leave behind leave behind us for the not just our own children, but our children of the of the world. Okay, thank you. So virtue is something that we should leave behind. That we should really pay forward, kind of inspired in everyone. Okay, but virtue, this is a very broad, a very abstract term. So we are going to look at the next slide and see what they can be. Like the first one is to cultivate ourselves towards perfection. So we have to really perfect our virtue so we can manifest Tao or manifest our Buddha nature in everything we do, everything we say. Okay, to be more detailed, it means that we have to have the 5 constants, right? Everyone still remember the 5 constants, the 8 virtues. We also follow the 8 noble path. And we are also very diligent working towards the 6 parameters, right? Okay. We also have to find a meaning in our life. Okay. We don't just live here, happen to this world. Every day we get up, eat, and then go to work, and then come back, eat, sleep. That's not the meaning of our life. And especially for all of us who have received the blessing, who have received the truth, the Tao's transmission, we know we have heaven's mandate. We have to help relay this message from God to everyone on this earth. Yeah, we have our own mission. We have a lot of responsibility to make this world a better place. Okay, so we have to seek the truth between heaven and earth, and also to seek the meaning, the true meaning of our life. Okay, so we also have to embark on this journey of self-actualization. Okay, no one can ask us to be a better person, right? And no one can force us to be a better person. The inspiration, the aspiration has to come from within. Okay, so we should really call upon us to work towards that goal, that we can we ourselves towards with others can continue. I can make this world, like a a utopian land. Or we say the lotus land. Okay. So that on the inside we need to perfect our virtue, but on the outside we should strive to make a difference. Okay. So remember this the song called "The World," right? Yeah. And every time when I heard them sing the song, tears kind of bring. It just well up, yeah, because we should not really take our potential lightly. Yeah, if we really want to deploy our potential, we can all make a contribution to this world in our own way. Okay, so it can be like, we say donate a smile. Or say a word of encouragement or caring to other people who need them. Okay, so we need to be a role model in shaping this world, moving this world forward. Okay, we know there are so many tumults, so many problems in this world. We shouldn't be just complaining. Rather, we should take proactive actions to help correct. We start from people around us. We can set a good example for them by doing things properly, doing things that's aligned with our Buddha nature. Okay, and then to give of ourselves. Okay, it means that we can donate time. If we have enough money, we can also donate some money that's proportionate to our ability. We can also share people our life experience, what inspire us, what changed our outlook on life, how we become positive and have a positive outlook on life, and also we can share our expertise, like at work. Okay, or we can share our experience in cultivation and how we can improve ourselves, how we get rid of our bad tempers, things like that. Yeah, because in our life journey, there must be someone or people who help us, and we just need to also pay forward. We need to help other people who need help from us, or who we can help, who we can touch. Okay. And then also we have to foster an atmosphere of equality, peace, and compassion among people. Okay, if there's true love and true compassion, true sense of equanimity, then why would there still be these terrorist attacks, the bombing, the shooting? We know within a week, there are so many, shootings, right? First in the mall of Burlington, and I think earlier there was another incident, and there was also the violent demonstration in North Carolina. There's so many conflicts in this world. So love, if only love and compassion and peace live in people's heart, then a lot of this situation can be avoided. Yeah, but it takes time. But we just should not give up. Bit by bit, we can turn the things around. And not only just have compassion towards our fellow beings, we also should have a compassion towards other living beings, such as the animals. Yeah, because they don't have the ability to protect themselves. They are really at the mercy of beings like us, human beings. So they all have this Buddha nature, and they all want to live. They have a right to live. They also have the sense. They also have the fear of being of pain. They also have the fear to be killed. So we should not. We should really treat all these animals with a compassion. And again, the environmental issue. Okay, we know so many natural disasters have struck. And this is all because of our pursuit of the material wealth. So we need to start doing something about the. It's actually a little late, but still we still have to do something to help preserve natural resources, to protect our Mother Earth. And we can do small things like, always remember to turn off the lights when we leave the room, and also do not waste water, all kinds of resources, even gas. If we can walk, then we walk instead of driving. And I think there's something I didn't put it there. And one thing that's very important, that's to guide our children, because children are the future of the world. And so it's very important that we start inspiring them, we start instilling in them the right idea, the right ideology. We can also inspire them to have a very, a goal for their life, and to how to take, the steps contributing, leading to the realization of the goal. Like we have to set up, role models from them. A lot of times we are not aware, but whatever we do are really perceived by our children, and they are going to copy. They are going to follow what they see. The things that we do or we say. So it's very important that we, especially in front of the children, we need to say the right word, the proper words, and do the right things. And we also should encourage the kids to to come to temple to learn about all this, principles like being filial, being loving toward each other, to foster, that kind of brotherhood, and to also to have a high goal, right? A grand goal, that is the create peace and compassion in this world. And then finally, not only do we do this, we also have to inspire people to get inspired from within. As I said earlier, people cannot force us to do something. It has to be, our own. Has to be we have to be self-motivated. Okay, so we cannot really force people to do something, but our job is to inspire them, to educate them, to help transform them, to have that kind of influence on them, so that they want to also be a better person for themselves. I guess that's all I have to say. And so this is My parents, they always say we are not rich. We are not rich, so we don't give you a very good foundation in terms of finance. But they say they are good. In their lifetime, they will always meet with a lot of difficulties. Like sometimes people are not. They treat them, unfairly. But my mom always said, when we just take this kind of unfair treatment calmly, without complaining, we are actually paving the roads for our children. And so they've been always laying this foundation for us, paving the road for us with their virtue. They're always very good people, because they know if they are good to people, someday, if there's any, in some situations, these people are going to also help her children. Yeah. So that's their very very pure ideology. And they always think a very important mission or duty of a parent is to have virtue, to establish virtue, so this virtue can benefit their children. So I guess this is what I have to say about this topic. And I think there's one more slide. Okay, so I'm going to conclude my class with this question. Okay, so what do you want to be remembered by? How can you increase, or how can we, increase the well-being of those who depend on us? So this can be, our children, or maybe if we are a teacher, our students, or even can be our parents, or our relatives or friends. And if there's one thing we can do to improve the world, what is it? Yeah, so we are always busy with our daily life, and do we often pause to think what we are busy with, why we are so busy, and so where or what direction are we heading toward? Okay, so if we really have a very clear idea of our goal in life, we know what we live this life for, then that's going to help make sure that we are always on the right path. And with this, like legacy or mission statement as like a compass or like a beacon tower, then I think we are better able to achieve our life's goal. Okay, anyone would like to contribute now? You have anything to add?
Do you have any questions? Would someone like to comment on the topic? Really? Go ahead.
There are a lot of references that you can, like for example, that there's the wealthy people after they pass away,
Which?
the money doesn't go anywhere. So, like the Apple.
Steve Jobs, right?
Steve Jobs,
Yeah.
He has a lot of money.
Right.
So a lot of money that he has, cannot save it.
Right.
Does he have any family?
Yes.
So what? They're fighting over his
No.
estate?
No.
He has only. I don't think he has children.
One son.
Just wife.
Yeah.
I think it's $2.
Oh, really?
$2.
Oh,
What?
okay.
They fighting over
No,
his
no.
estate? Oh, no.
No, they're not so old to fight. He left like his estate, but so I don't think they're old enough to be fighting
Yeah.
for it yet.
Hmm.
So they're in trust.
Yeah, they're in trust.
Yeah.
So all that knowledge, all that money, he cannot be saved. But he did leave something behind. He left a legacy of what he did. Even though it was not, a lot of people thought that he was very demanding. A lot of people that worked with him did not get along with him.
Okay.
He even left Apple for a while. The period. He got kicked out from the Apple organization. And then they came back and took over and changed the whole thing again. But his idea is not just create a company, but provide something for the whole generation.
In Florida, can you try
To see what he wants to do.
Yeah, he's really changed people's life. Inside out, upside down. I mean, in a good way, right? Yeah.
After he left, idea of the Apple company was kind of faded away. Things are coming out from the Apple, people are not really enthusiastic about it.
Claudia. Thank you, Edison.
Okay, I did comment on this, Steve Jobs. He also left something behind at his passing. They passed out a book to everyone who attended. This is the one book he had was Autobiography for the Yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda. And there's a documentary called The Way to the Body. And that was the book that he wanted to recommend had that it says. But anyway, I had a question about how can we increase the well-being of those who depend on us? And then I was I think about, of course, my children first, because, you know, they came through me, so it's dependent. But then there's kind of this interdependence, because now they're at an age where it's like, okay, I'm a man now, mommy, and, you know, my daughter's doing this. And I felt, because my parents are gone, I started to practice being more dependent on them for filial piety, so that they could receive the blessings. But now I realize I'm not old enough yet, in a way. So, and I want to give my son, allow him to come into his own independence and not be a burden so much as I was beginning to become. Not a burden, but I was beginning to, you know, just kind of. And so it's almost like those who depend on us, we're all interconnected, interdependent on one another. So I'm just wondering where that line is, at like what age, let's say the child depends on us, they're completely dependent in the beginning, and then they're still dependent, and they may be dependent the whole life, or we on they, but there's kind of an interdependence. I don't know if it goes with stages of realization or age, or, you know, when, so I was just wondering about that. I mean, as a family, universal family, then we're all interdependent. Anyway, I just think about, you know, before I left, my son-in-law guy bought him all these things, nuts and berries, and he said, "Thank you, Mommy." So, you know, we kind of want to make sure they're okay and have food and have shelter. That's why I was able to leave finally, because home praise, and he's like, I left him this morning. So, anyway, increase the well-being of those who depend on you for us. We're all interdependent. I guess that's kind of the question. We're all interdependent. So the well-being of everyone, right?
Thank you.
Or is it?
So my legacy would basically be a good parent to my kids. Hopefully they can see me as a good role model, and they can pick up the good and leave the bad behind. Be able to see
Yeah.
the bad and not to be carried over, because they will have to understand that raising a kid is not easy. Parents will lose patience once in a while. They will, hopefully they will realize that all the work we're doing is for them. And hopefully they will carry on to the next generation.
Yeah. Well, actually, parenthood is very important. We know a lot of the troubles, problem children come from family that lacks, love and support. Such as the case with the Virginia Tech. There's so many examples. So we say a harmonious society starts with the family, right? And the harmonious family starts with our own cultivation. If we know we cultivate ourselves well, then we know how to raise a family in a proper way, so we can really foster love, support, encouragement, and progress within the family. And when a child comes from a family that's full of love, he's going to also bring with love, right? He's going to kind of spread love among people. That's how I feel about myself, because although my parents they are not wealthy, but they really give us a lot of care and a lot of love, and so I tend to have a rosy look at life and at people, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah, because I think if we are genuinely, candid with people, frank with people, people will do the same to us. You are laughing.
I mean, that's, those are very, those are pretty open-ended questions. I mean, there's a continuum, there's a scale, right? There's a scale. If Buddha was to respond, it all really starts from yourself. Okay? So you can say, you could look at the micro level, which is your individual pride. Yeah, what do you want to do? If you have a family, obviously you want to take care of your family, and bring educate your children, bring them up well, right? So that's not bad. That's very good. That, as a matter of fact, that's important. But like Buddha, for example, well, he did have a family, right? He did have a son, but his son eventually became one of his disciples. One of his top 10. But since we're talking about the Tao, right? So we're really it starts from the basic too. Okay, so hopefully all of you will know what the basics are, right? I mean, if you have children, you should obviously care for them, teach them love, etc., etc., all that. Okay, there's no need, you guys can look it up. But let's talk to the highest level. If it was Buddha, actually the highest level is that the legacy, Buddha's legacy or any of the saints and sages' legacy is that they reach the level where they surpass or transcend the normal perspective or normal social perspective. Because most people just say, hey, I take care of my family, my children, my spouse, my parents. That's it. That's it. No, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that's good. But that's very basic level. That's a basic level. The highest level, one of the highest levels is that there's really, you reach a state where there is no longer a differentiation between yourself or your family and everybody else, right? Namso, right? It's called namso. Subject object, right? So that, like you mentioned, Claudia, that's this interconnectedness or interrelatedness, right? That's the higher level. That's the Buddha level. That's really Buddha level. Because Buddha doesn't say, hey, I only care about my own family, or my clan, or my tribe, right? They don't. That's not. There's everybody, every sentient being. Period. That's 7+ billion people in this world right now, right? Okay, so that's the higher level, all right? So, but it all starts, at the micro level, at the lower level, the basic level. You get it? Okay, so there's a continuum, all right? So, when you look at it, I would say, oh, dang, that's difficult. You start from the basic, that's okay, you work your way. So the highest level is really, you wish all sentient beings to attain Buddha, period. Nothing less, nothing more, nothing less. I mean, that's like, wow, but that's the highest level. All right, okay? So, so that's really it. Because why? So you can transcend samsara. I mean, that's to right? The Four Noble Truths. That's it. Buddha says, that's it. The Four Noble Truths, right? That's it. That explains what life is all about.
Thank you so much for your supplement. Yeah, that's the grand goal of being a person, being a human being.
We ignore the basic level. No,
yeah.
To achieve the highest level, you really have to start from the basic level. I mean, that's really it. I mean, that's right. I mean, and that's what Confucius, right, talks about. The 8 virtues, the family, the what do you call it? The 10 stages, or whatever you want to call it. 10 stages, in the Great Learning. In the first chapter, right? Whatever, section 2 or whatever. I forgot, but anyway.
Yeah. The great learning is to awake to your Buddha nature, to also awake the Buddha nature in others, and together we attain the, attainment of Tao.
Yeah, so that's the highest level, right? But it all starts from the basic. So there's it. What I'm trying to say is there's a connection. People say, oh, well, what Buddha is doing, I can't do, or that I can't achieve, because I can only focus on that. No, that's wrong. So we should not, view it, like there's no connection. Okay, right? Rather that, what Confucius is saying. That, you start from yourself, take care of your family, children, etc. That's right. That's the proper way, and then you work your way up. Right?
Okay. I guess I conclude this class. If I said anything inappropriate, I ask for forgiveness of Buddhas and saints, and I'd like you to correct me afterwards. Thank you for your attention.